I'm going to play a clip for you guys, and I want to see if you can figure out how this clip ties in with the rest of the review.
I've been a lot of things before, but I've never been a giant cracker.
You have no idea, do you? Of course you don't. You gotta watch the rest of the review to find out, but trust me, it will make sense.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Our little town has loved Christmas, and nothing is more important than our annual Christmas pageant.
The pageant is sacred.
Special mention to Grace for volunteering to direct the pageant.
But this year, the Herdmans changed everything.
Now.
The best Christmas pageant ever comes to us from chosen creator Dallas Jenkins and is based off the book by Barbara Robinson. And this movie centers around the Herdmans, who are absolutely the worst kids in the history of the world. But this Christmas, they're taking over their local church pageant, and they might just unwillingly teach a shocked community the true meaning of Christmas. Well, let me just say that I'm going to have a ball talking about this one. So right off the bat, I never read the book that this was based on. I didn't even know of its existence really until I heard about this movie coming out. But I've seen the trailer for this movie a couple of times here and there, and I honestly thought it looked completely harmless, but at the same time, I didn't know if I was going to see it or not. But this past weekend, there was an early screening of the movie, and anytime there's an early screening for a movie, especially one that's a week early, I'm more than likely going to check it out. So I went to go see the movie Saturday night in a very packed auditorium. Like, I'm not even kidding. There was more people at this screening than there was at opening night for Deadpool and Wolverine. And before we get into the movie itself, we gotta talk about this whole early screening experience because you don't just get to watch the movie. There's a behind the scenes look with the cast and director showing us stuff from the movie we haven't even seen yet, a behind the scenes making of a song by Blake Shelton, and even a 5-minute sneak peek at the 5th season of The Chosen. God damn it, why can I never escape The Chosen? I work at a movie theater that always shows them as Fathom events, and they get old fast. There's been like 5 of them at this point, I think. I don't know, I've lost track. But absolutely my favorite part of this whole early screening opening thing was when the director told the audience, hey, if you like the movie, go tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone to go see it. If you don't like the movie, keep your mouth shut. Well, guess what, dickhead? You don't say shit like that when Trev's Movies is in the theater because, FYI, it's my job to do that. So after a literal 15 minutes of them jackassing around, they finally start the movie. Like, seriously, you could have told the audience to stay after the credits for all that shit. So with all that out of the way, I don't know how you guys are going to react to what I'm about to say because when it comes to this movie, the best Christmas pageant ever, I truly believe that, without a doubt, that this quite possibly might be the whitest movie I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. And that is coming from someone who is very obviously black. How white is this movie? I'm serious when I say that I would not be shocked if at Christmas time they start playing this at Cracker Barrel. Right from the start, this movie takes place in a town that is filled to the brim with Karens. People who are so easily offended by the littlest shit that if one thing goes out of line or someone says something wrong, they have to go and bitch to everyone about it. I'm not even kidding when I say this. This is a town where if you were to say something like my God or oh my God, they're more likely to have a reaction like this. Oh my God. Ah! No! 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 They don't say that! They don't say that! Ah! Fuck! Ah! I'm not over exaggerating when I say that. They will react like that. Oh, and you bet your ass, I of course watched the whitest movie with the whitest freaking audience that I've ever been crammed into a theater with. Let me tell you how this audience would always react to a scene that was in some way humorous. So, there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where they are in church and they bring out all the Sunday school kids to say, what is their favorite thing about church? And the first 2 kids are like, I like to learn about God. I like that. I don't know. I get free communion booze. But then the last one they show is the son of our main lead. And he's like, my favorite thing about church is that there's no Herdmans here. And how the fuck did my audience react to that? I'm not exaggerating when I play that clip. They were acting like we were watching an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something. They didn't even laugh at shit that wasn't remotely funny. There's a scene where the husband takes a ham to the Herdman house and he asks, hey, is your mom home? And the oldest says, not when the sun's up. And I'm like, okay, that's legit really sad. And what makes that even sadder is later on when they have the pageant going on, their mom doesn't even show up. We don't see the mom in this whole friggin' movie. What was my audience's reaction to that scene? That led me to almost yell out, what the fuck is wrong with you stupid bastards? That's not funny. That is so damn sad. Speaking of the Herdman kids, it's kind of ridiculous how terrified the town is of them to the point where no one will do anything about it. This is a movie where its main conflict can be solved in just 5 minutes with a good old ass beating. Belt, paddle, I don't care. It's the 70s or 80s, so technically they can do that. And I know it's the 70s or 80s because they have box TVs, landlines, someone even mentions in the newspaper at some point. I mean, I got my ass whooped as a kid, and look at me now. The only problem is that, aside from the main family, no one is a friggin' adult here because they'll just either cry, bitch, and moan about what the Hermans did, and they'll never try to put a stop to it. This is a town that is so religious and affiliated with Jesus that I am shocked that they do not know the secret 11th commandment. Thou shalt beat thy ass! I mean, to be honest, we're also talking about a town that got offended when a kid was talking about underwear. I am not making that up. Honestly, you wanna know who's even worse than the Hermans? This little shit right here. I don't know her name, but she is such a little suck-ass to her bitch-ass Karen mom. I hated this little shit through the entire movie. She's basically the female version of Randall from the show Recess, where she's always like writing little shit down in her notebook and like trying to get all the other kids in trouble. And I'm just like, why is the main girl friends with her? She's the one the town should be against, her and her bitch-ass Karen mom. Honestly, the more I think about it, this is a movie that is strictly for those few people who are heavily offended by the Marvel Jesus joke in Deadpool and Wolverine. And I mean, fuck, the way my audience was reacting, this was their Deadpool. Okay, so I think I got all my cracker jokes out of the way. So, how is this movie as a whole? Well, to be honest, the best I can say about it is that it exists. Look, it's kind of what I thought of another book-based movie this year, Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's completely harmless and had almost no impact on me, except for the fact that it's the whitest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. But there's really only like 2 other positives I have about it. All the performances were actually pretty good. You can tell very early on that this was based on a kid's book, especially when it comes to some of the dialogue and how people act, as I've already mentioned. Judy Greer is really only one of the few characters that I could get behind, because all she's trying to do is make something great out of a bad situation. No one has hope for her except for her daughter. I will also admit that the ending did kind of save this movie's ass. It's not enough to deem this a new Christmas classic, but for what it was a nice, heartwarming ending that worked for me. And the movie and everyone who worked on it seemed to have their hearts in the right place, which is really all that matters in the end sometimes. But hey, you know what? I might also be completely wrong about this entire movie because it's getting great reviews right now, and I kind of get it. I mean, of course it has a great audience score, but yeah, I'm like, maybe it's just not for me. Maybe that's the thing. So in the end, the best Christmas pageant ever will definitely work for its target audience, which clearly isn't me. If you like the book or are really into certain Hallmark Christmas movies, then you'll probably like this. I'm at least glad I gave it a shot, but I don't really see this becoming a new Christmas classic. Now Terrifier 3 on the other hand, oh yeah, that's a Christmas classic in my book. Well, I'm guessing it's not the best Christmas pageant ever because I'm giving this movie a C. Yeah guys, I'm sorry this review's kind of a mess, but I had like so little to say, but also so much at the exact same time to where I really didn't know how to set up this review at points. I would also like to point out this Instagram post from Lionsgate that says, oh my god, the best Christmas pageant ever has a 99% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. You better watch out. The Hermans are coming for that 1%. What if I was to tell you I was part of that 1%? Because I posted my review on Rotten Tomatoes in the audience section. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn the notification bell, and while you're at it, go follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Trev's Movies, and I'll be back later with more reviews, and I'll see you then. The time of year, the time that's only once a year, a very cracker Christmas. I'm going to hell.